こんにちは、富士通渋谷店の西野です。今日はですね、特別なゲストがいらっしゃってます。コーナーストーンミュージックギアのエミリオさんですね。
Hello.
Hello. よろしくお願いします僕はちょっと英語は喋れないので翻訳の方を入れながらちょっとエミリオさんとコミュニケーションをしていくっていう形なんですけど、今回エミリオさんはですねサウンドメッセ大阪に向けて、来日されたんですけれども、せっかくなのでコーナーストーンの話をちょっと直接聞ける機会があったら聞きたいなっていう、お話をしたところですね、快く OK くださいまして、で動画も撮らせていただけるということで、今日は、動画を撮っております。
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you very much again for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
皆さんも結構最近コーナーストーンをたくさん見かけることも多くなって、でプロのミュージシャンの方々も結構ボードに入れてたりすると思うんですけど、磯貝さんのコラボレーションモデルとかも出てて今すごく盛り上がってるので、
I really like it. I really dig it.
コーナーストーンとはどんなブランドかっていうのをもうエミリオさんに今日は直接聞ける機会ですので、たくさん聞いていきたいと思います。まだ発売されてないとあるペダルもですね、実際に持ってきて、いただいているということなので、こちらの音出しもね、やりつつちょっと使い方をもう直接聞いていこうかなと思っております。そちらもお楽しみください。まずコーナーストーンミュージックギアとはどういったブランドかというのを聞いていきたいんですけれども、
So Cornerstone is a pretty small company, but it's at its core it's composed of me and my wife. It all started actually with just like a simple hobby, but right now we are actually running a company, an international company, and right now it's me, my wife, which is taking care of all the production. She's a logistic and management engineer, so she takes care of all the production. And then there is Lorenzo, which is completing the final parts of the production and testings. And then we have other team members located not in Italy. Max, which is in Argentina, which is in charge of the R&D and research and development. And then we also have Kai, which is our product designer in the United States. And then there is me. I do basically, the boring stuff, the commercial marketing strategies and dealers relationships, artist relationships, and in general, running the company as a whole.
コーナーストーンに込められた名前に込められた思いとかっていうのはありますか？
Well, the meaning is simple actually. Cornerstone, when we talk about building, the cornerstone is actually the foundation. It's what stands at the very base, the basic foundation of everything. So I thought it was a good word as a parallelism, because every guitar player use pedals. It's very rare that actually you use your guitar clean straight into the amp. So everyone use pedals. So good pedals are a good foundation for a good tone. That's my meaning.
ブランドを立ち上げた、設立したきっかけはどんなきっかけだったんでしょう？
Right, so my background, I am an aerospace engineer. And soon after I finished university, I started working as an aerospace engineer in an aerospace company in Italy. I've always been playing guitar, but I have never been really 100% satisfied by the pedals that I was playing. And moreover, I didn't even have the budget to buy all the pedals that I wanted. So I thought, hey, I just graduated in aerospace engineering. Is that possible that I cannot build myself a pedal? So I decided to start building pedals, designing my own. But that was just my hobby. That was just something that I was just doing for myself. And then Linda, my wife, we weren't married at the time, but she treated my hobby as if it was something more serious and more important than just my hobby. And I was just treating it like an hobby, very simple. And then borrow a pedal to a friend, borrow a pedal to another friend, and then someone is popping up and saying, "Hey, can I buy your pedal?" And then I thought, maybe I can sell a pedal. And then I made a Facebook page, and then the Instagram account, and then the first dealer. And in 10 years, because I started around 2015, in 10 years now we are running a full-time international company, and this is where we are now.
ではですね、次に、現存のというか今、うちでも取り扱いがある、コーナーストーンのペダル3機種こちらに、ご用意しましたんで、一つずつですね、こだわりとかをエミリオさんに聞きつつ音も鳴らしつつおすすめのセッティングみたいなのも今コントロールしてくれるそうなので、それをちょっとやっていきたいと思います。一つ目が、グラリオからですね、こちらのペダルになります。やっていきたいと思います。エミリオさん早速なんですけど、このグラディオシングルチャンネルの、こだわりとかどういったペダルかというのをご説明いただけますか？
Sure. So the Gladio is the core sound of all the pedals that Cornerstone makes. So this is the first step. It's very important because even to understand the other pedals, even the Nero. So the Gladio is a pedal that I designed after I fell in love with a particular song from Robin Ford, Cannonball Shuffle. So I decided to make a pedal that could actually try to capture that tone. Of course, I know that tone was recorded using a dumble, but I didn't want to make a pedal that could be like a dumble in a box, because that doesn't make any sense, because there are so many dumbles and all of them are different each other. This is something I've always said, and I think it's important, but I wanted it to be as much as amp-like as possible. This is the first feature, and I think that eventually I did a pretty good job, since that Robin Ford himself used the Gladio.
素晴らしい、great、ちょっと早速音の方を出していこうと思うんですけど、僕が弾きますか？エミリオさんが弾きますか？
No. I let you play. I let you play.
じゃあ、今は、フェンダーのスーパーリバーブのアンプをつなげてるんですけど、ペダルはすべてバイパスした状態ですね。アンプとギターの音ですね。
Can I trick it a little bit? Let me explain a little bit. The key feature of the Gladio is the clean blend here. So the clean blend is something that allows your clean sound to be added on top of the overdrive. So it's not going to full overdrive to full clean. The overdrive stays the same all the time, and you just choose how clean you want to be added on top of that. This is actually controlling the compression. Now we are playing with more compression. Do you mind trying with a little bit of less compression?
Okay.
How the pedal reacts to the dynamics of the playing.
プリアンプペダルですごい支配力が強いものになると、もう何のギターを使っても何のアンプを使ってもそのプリアンプペダルの音みたいなみんな一緒の音になっちゃうと思うんですけど、このクリーンミックスがあることによってギターとかその 手前につなぐペダルの個性とかもしっかり出てくるので非常によく考えられているなと思います。あとコーナーストーンのその歪みペダル全般コンプレッションにすごいこだわりを感じてて、それを非常に感じました。
It's actually designed to be the merging point between guitar, other pedals, and amp. This is probably the reason. This is the reason why I call it preamp, because it's it behaves like that. It behaves like like an enhancement of your dynamic before going into the amp. That's all.
続いてアンティーク、はい、V3 ですね。こちら聞きたいんですけど、アンティークは僕グラリオと合わせて使った時にすごいもう相乗効果が生まれるなと思ってたので、グラリオをオンにしたままちょっと行きたいなと思ってます。
It goes well with everything.
じゃあちょっとアンティークのこだわりポイントをちょっと教えていただけたらなと。
Yeah, sure. I'm a huge John Mayer fan. This pedal is heavily inspired by John Mayer Trio. All right. So since the very day on which I heard John Mayer Trio, I've loved that sound, and I wanted to make a pedal based on that sound, pretty much like I did with the Gladio with Robin Ford. So the Antique is at its core, it's a tube screamer, but with some modification. Because I played a tube screamer and it's a great pedal, but in my opinion, it has some limitations, in particular in tone and in dynamics. So I decided to open up, keep the same amount of mid frequencies. So I decided to add a control for the brightness and a control for the compression. So you can have the classic TS-808 sound with the Antique. You simply do this. But then you open up. Just play.
Okay.
Open up on the brightness, and you open up in dynamics. This makes the Antique a very different pedal. You know, you can even find some tube screamers on the market. Instead of the presence, they have tone and bass. But in my opinion, in a live mix situation, you don't really need bass. You really need clarity. You need brightness to cut through the mix. You know.
そう、僕もチューブスクリーマーのペダルはたくさん持っていて好きで、でもどうしても他のペダルと組み合わせたりとかした時にどうしても調整できないところがあるんです。
Yeah.
それはそのトップエンドのプレゼンスとあとはコンプレッション感でコンプレッション感は特に自分の体調だったりとかその日音出す場所によっても変えたいものだと思うんで、コンプレッションが固定されてると非常にやりにくい時があるんです。でそれが解決されているのがアンティークだと思っていて素晴らしいと思いました。
Oh yeah. Yes. And the very special feature of the new Antique V3 is the hot mode here. The story is, I just wanted to add a boost to the pedal, but there are thousands of tube screamers with boost. Then I thought, what about if I put the boost before and after at the same time, with two independent controls?
非常に使い勝手が良くて、普通の TS 系のペダルとかだとこっちで下げないといけないんですよね。割とゲインが高い設定にしといて、こっちで絞ってゲインを落とさないといけないんですけど、それがスイッチでしかも理想的にアサインできるのがとてもいいなと。そのモード切り替えなんですけど、なんかパッとこのペダルを見るとベーシックなモードからのホットモードに見えるんですけど、それが両方個別にアサインできるようになっているのがすごい良くて、ホットモードからいきなりオフにもできるし、ベーシックなモードだけ使うこともできるし、もちろんベーシックからホットモードいけるっていうのがすごい使い勝手がいいなと思いました。
So if you switch it on like this, and then if you want to engage the out mode, you need to you go here, and then if you want to disengage the hot mode, you press it again just like it was a boost. No, because if you press it again, it switched off. It's effectively like a 2 channels pedal. So normal, you go to hot mode, or from bypass, you can go direct to the hot mode from there. Just like 2 channels in one box.
素晴らしい。Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. じゃあ続いてネロファズ。
Let's talk about the Nero.
じゃあ続いて、ネロファズですね。こちらのペダルの、こだわったポイントを教えていただければと思います。
The Nero is the result of years of people asking me to make a FUZZ. I've never made it. I've never made it because the market is full of FUZZ. Full of FUZZ. So in the very when I decided to make it, I said, okay, I make it, but I want to give an answer to those many problems that people have with FUZZ. Can I mention some problems?
Yeah.
All right. Some of the common problems is people that are overwhelmed by the amount of fuzz, amount of gain that normally you get from a fuzz face. In a normal fuzz, you have to crank the gain all the way up.
Yeah.
To control the pedal, you have to play with the guitar volume, and the cleanup of the fuzz happens in just like a tiny rotation of the guitar pot. And what about the fuzz interaction with the amp? A fuzz doesn't sound really good on a clean amp. That's a fact. So what I decided to do with the Nero is designing my own fuzz and putting it together with an entire Gladio C built in. Yeah, because this is actually what many pro players do. They often stack a fuzz with another overdrive because they cannot use an overdriven amp, right? We are not Hendrix. He could use a cranked Marshall. We cannot. So many pro players, what they do is stacking a fuzz with an overdrive. This is exactly what is happening in the Nero. In just one pedal, you have 2 pedals, a fuzz and a Gladio in one box. Yeah, I mean, because nobody can realistically, nobody can play an overdriven amp with a fuzz in front. So in just one pedal, I created a fuzz with another overdrive, like a 2 pedals stacked in one box, and that other overdrive is the Gladio. We talked before about the Gladio. We talked about the clean knob, right? There is the clean knob in the Nero, but it's called comp. It's not called clean because there is a fuzz in front, so it's not clean anymore. But it works exactly the same, but vice versa. So if you put all the clean all the way up, it's comp all the way down. Clean all the way down, comp all the way up. So this is actually a control that is really unique for fuzz. Ability to control the dynamic of a fuzz. I've never seen anything like this. And not only the Nero is 2 pedals in one. It's almost like 2 fuzz in one because you have 2 controls, voice 1 and voice 2. You can choose with this foot twitch, okay? Because those are like the bias of a fuzz, independent bias, and you can set them individually and independently. So you can have like in voice 1, if you put it down, you have an under bias for a gritty sound, like Ariel Posen, sort of.
Ariel Posen,
Or the other one, if you put it up higher, you have the classic like violin Eric Johnson type of sound. And it's cool because it's all in one pedal. Let's try it. Let's try it.
Right. そうだからボイスを絞った時はすごいブチブチブチっていう癖のあるサウンドもできるし、でボイスをこう上げていくとすごい滑らかなサウンドもできて、でしかもシリコンで確か動作してるはずなんですよ。ですけどすごい、
Yeah.
ゲルマニウムのニュアンスというか、シリコンの安定性でゲルマニウムのサウンドっていうのがすごいなと思いました。
Yeah, but it's a silicon. That's the cool part. That's the cool part. Because I like germanium, but they are not reliable. They change behavior, they change sound depending on the temperature, so it's not really good.
そうですね。うちもそのプロのユーザーの方が多いんですけど、お客さんがやっぱり野外のサマーフェスとかにゲームのファズは絶対に持っていけないのでっていう話もよく聞くんで、そういった場合シリコンですよね。
Yeah. Oh, and another very important thing. You don't have to place it first in signal chain like other FUZZ. Because the input impedance of this one is 1 megaohm. This means that you can actually place it wherever you want in a signal chain.
クラシックなファズっていうのは弱い信号しか受けられないんですね。でこれ自体は場所を選ばないっていうのはめちゃめちゃすごいなと思います。ありがとうございます。Thank you. Great.
Thank you.
僕のその総合的なコーナーストーンミュージックギアのペダルの印象なんですけれども、とにかくその歪みペダルのニュアンスの部分ですよね、トップエンドのプレゼンスとかコンプレッション感とか、そういったところに非常に、こだわりを感じました。で先ほどもちょっと喋ったんですけど、そのコンプ感とかトップエンドの出方ってその日の体調だったり使用する環境だったり他に使う機材で、割とこう自分の基準が変わるというか、その時に欲しいニュアンスっていうのが、必ずあると思うんですね。で既存の例えばその元になってるペダルだとこう調整の効かない部分が、コーナーストーンのペダルは、アジャストできるので、なんていうんですかね、自分の例えばプレイのギターの弾き方が変わったりとか好みの、サウンドとかが変わったりとかしても、長く付き合っていけるペダルなんじゃないかなと思ったのが、一つ、ですね。あとはですね、ペダル単体ですごいかっこいい音がするペダルって結構あると思うんですけど、コーナーストーンもそれを持っていつつもですね、他のペダルとかシステムの中に入れた時のアジャストが、さっきも言ったようなアジャストができるので、ジャストで使うんじゃなくて他のペダルと一緒に使うトゥゲザーみたいな使い方がすごいしやすいペダルだと思います。特にエミリオさんが、ネロファズの時に言っていた、ファズだけど一番ド頭に持ってこなくていいんだよとか、そういうところも、共通すると思うんですけど、そういった部分がですね非常に考えられてすごいなと思いました。あとですね、やっぱ トーンのコントロールの、レンジの決め方というか、結構極端にコントロールノブを振っても変な音にならないんで、本当に必要な部分がここだっていうのが、分かってらっしゃって、それを落とし込んでるんだなと、思いました。まあそれらが僕のコーナーストーンの印象なんですけど、エミリオさんがいつもこう開発の時にこだわるポイントとかっていうのをちょっと教えていただけたらなと思います。
This is actually the type of feedback that I would like to receive. I totally confirm it because actually that's my vision in designing pedals, offering as much versatility as possible. So, as you said, cranking the controls all the way down or all the way up, they still have to be usable. They don't have to fall apart. This is a good design pedal in my opinion. My design is two things: versatility and problem solving. I think that's all. Yes.
というわけで、今ですね、フーチーズの店頭でも扱っている、ペダルを中心に、ちょっと音出しながら、エミリオさんにお話聞いてったんですけれども、冒頭で述べました、新しいペダルをですね、紹介させていただきたいなと思います。いいですか？
We can talk about the reverb for like 2 hours, you know.
大丈夫ですね。こちら概要としては、すごい有名なギター YouTuber のポール・デイビスさんとのコラボレーションで生まれた、リバーブペダルらしくてですね、もう直接本人に聞いちゃおうと思います。はい。こちらのペダルはどんなペダルですか
Everything started from a video of Paul Davids going to an abandoned nuclear power station in Austria. And he was playing there, and the reverb in that place was massive. So Paul and I, we knew each other. So I sent him a message and say, hey, what about making a signature pedal together with that for that sound? And he said yes, and that was like 2.5 years ago. Of course, we decided to design it. That was the very first signature pedal from Paul Davids. So we wanted to make it fantastic. We just didn't want to make it like a classic reverb with a one knob and that's all. We wanted to represent that Paul Davids style, so the color palette and everything, so it's very Paul Davids.
ポール・デビッツさんいつも赤いギターを持ってるんで、これはだから今日僕は自分の赤いギターを持ってきました。
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
And also because the power station was left from the 70s, and this is really made like in 70s kind of style.
僕もビデオ見まして、コントロールルームとかすごいレトロな感じの電話が置いてあったりとか、そういうレトロなイメージですよね。
Oh yeah. Talking very briefly about the pedal, very quickly. This is a pedal that does everything you need from a reverb. From your day-by-day reverb to massive ambient cinematic style reverb.
ちなみに動画でサイロの部分で撮った音を、IR 化してたと思うんですけど、その IR を元に作っているのか、それとも改めてエミリオさんたちのチームが解析してやったのかっていうのをちょっと知りたいです。
Yeah, so using IRs was our first initial idea, but we abandoned that idea for 2 reasons. The first reason is because it was not versatile. Because in IRs, the only thing that you can control is the mix. You cannot do anything else. You cannot control the decay, the tone a little bit, but you don't have control over the reverb in general, just the mix. Second reason is because the IR that he recorded was like 15 seconds long, unusable, because in the DSP processing for IRs, most likely they are able to process like 500 milliseconds, not 15 seconds. So the big part of the information from the reverb itself would have been lost. So we decided to revert to a classic DSP modeling, reconstructing the sound of that reverb in the nuclear power station.
確かにIR のデータを引いたポールさんも 現場の感じとは違ったけどいいねみたいな感じだったので、そうですね、もうその現場の感じに近づけるようにより追い込んだっていうことですね。
Yes, even because it's Paul Davids reverb in the power station, what we call here reactor. Putting our brains together, me and Paul and the team, we decided to add more flavors to the reverb. And so we added modulation, pitch, granular, things that you don't have in the powers in the nuclear power station. You don't have the granular, you don't have the pitch, but we wanted to add it because I mean putting together, doing it like brainstorming, we came up with this, which is at its core it's based on the reverb of the nuclear power station, but we added more to it because of the creativity.
じゃあ早速音を出してみてもいいですか？僕もまだ音出してないんです。
All right. This is a simple room reverb. This is like a everyday, like day by day use reverb, simple that anyone can use for everybody, for every type of music. So let's go into more ambient type of stuff. This is the reactor. Now the decay is at noon. We have in this mode we have like a maximum decay of 90 seconds. So this is the freeze, which is super cool because if you freeze and you play on top of it, you still have the reverb.
なんかシマーみたいな上のレイヤーを足すところもあるっていう感じですか？ピッチの部分ですかね。
you play in stereo,
はい。
that's another story.
もともとその宇宙工学というか航空の出身じゃないですか、学びが。なんでちょっとそういうなんかテイストも感じるような気がしますね。
You know, I mean, this pedal is, yeah, it's a very cool reverb. We have just seen a couple, just a tiny fraction of all the features that this pedal does, but it has presets, onboard preset, MIDI, stereo in, stereo out. It's also an audio interface via USB.
歪み以外初ですか今回。
It's our first reverb. We've always made drive pedals, and since it's our very first digital pedal, I thought it was a very important that to have an endorsement like this, and especially because it's not using a common cheap reverb chip that you can find in many pedals, like the FE1. This one is using an M7 Cortex, which is way more powerful. But if you want, we can put only one octave up or a mix of the two. 30% down and a 70% up.
Yeah. この1、2、3は
It's because those are the 3 presets that you can save and recall directly on the pedal. And via MIDI, there are 128. I mean, it may seem a simple thing, but playing on top of a freeze, still having the reverb, is something that even the big sky is not doing.
まああと面白いのがそのオクターブの上下のレイヤーのバランスを決められるとかっていうのもすごくいいですし、しかもそれをこうちっこいパラメータ数字が表示された画面でやんなくていいっていうのが非常に素晴らしいですね。
It's a very complex pedal. You have a lot of controls, but still, it's very easy to use.
素晴らしいです。ありがとうございます。Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, grazie.
はい。そしてこちらがですね、まだ全然未発表の新作ペダルだそうです。どんなものかというと、グラディオとアンティークが 2-in-1 になったペダルですね。はい。
Let's try it.
はい、今エミリオさんがギター弾きながら作ってくれたんですけどギターめちゃめちゃうまかったです。エミリオさん弾いてくれればいいのにって思いましたが、はい、ちょっとやってみましょう。今は新しいリバーブをですね、ルームリバーブモード、シンプルなルームリバーブにしてくださって、で、こちらのドライブですね、試していきたいと思います。Great reverb.
Simple reverb. Okay, so let's talk about the IMPERIUM, right? Okay, perfect. So the IMPERIUM is a very easy pedal. It's a very simple. The Gladio is transparent, very amp-like, and the Antique on the other side is creamy, more sort of a mid-focus type of overdrive. And when they put them together, they are just perfect. They are kind of like a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde when you put them together, because if you take them on their own, they are very gentle. They're very transparent or creamy, but when you stack them, they really become a rock machine. You are using the Gladio, and you want to switch to the Antique. You press and hold any of the 2-foot switches.
Oh.
And let's say that from bypass, you want to go straight into both side on. You don't have to put the foot like this. Simply press and hold any of the 2 foot switches.
Oh.
And even and same to switch off.
どっちでもいいってことですもんね。すごいですね。そんなことができるんですね。
There is also the central toggle switch, so you can change the order. Now it was entering into Gladio. As a different texture.
More gain up して。
Yeah, sure.
でもいいですか？
You want to push it. It goes even harder than that, like hard rock or AC/DC, or I mean, if you use like a humbucker, it push a lot. Push a lot.
これがちょっと公開日は分かんないんですけど、かなり早い段階で触らせてもらえたということでありがとうございます。
Oh yeah. Well, actually, you are. I'm not exaggerating, but you are the first Japanese person trying the NUCLEO.
エミリーさんありがとうございました。Thank you so much. 非常に今日という日でコーナーストーンミュージックの理解が深まりました。で、特に新しいリバーブはすごいエミリーさんにとって挑戦の、ペダルだったと思うんですけれども、素晴らしいギタリストのポール・デビッドさんと一緒に作られたということで、ポール・デビッドさん以外にもいろいろ交流があると思うんです。グラディオの時におっしゃっておりました、ロベン・フォードとか、ジョイ・ランドレス、アリル・ポーゼンとか、スコット・マッキーオンとか、彼らはどのコーナーストーンのペダルを使っているかちょっと知りたいです。
I don't know right now what they are using because they actually change pretty much depending on the type of project they're working on and the type of tour they are playing. But they have all been playing basically the Gladio double or the Gladio single. I mean the Gladio is the most famous one.
コーナーストーンにグラディオありきというか、本当にすごい芯の部分にあるペダルなんですね。
As I said at the beginning of the interview, the Gladio is the core of the Cornerstone sound.
なるほどですね。ありがとうございます。日本のギタリストの皆さんにメッセージとか、どんな、人にコーナーストーンのペダルを使ってほしいかなどあればちょっと教えていただければなと。
Okay, well, I would recommend all of them. Okay, so thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure. It's the very first time for me in Japan, and it's a pleasure to be here talking about our pedals. If I had to suggest maybe something to be open to experiment things. This is my old vision because I think if you are open to try new things, and new sounds and new pedals, maybe you find something that you didn't know you would like. So it's like a way of knowing better you, not just knowing better a pedal. And what kind of pedals could I suggest? All of them, literally, because they serve for different purposes.
Thank you. コーナーストーンが今後目指していく姿というかビジョン、夢みたいなものを聞けたらなと思います。
Yeah, so Cornerstone is a company that is called Cornerstone Music Gear, not Cornerstone Pedals. And that means that my vision for the future is to expand and to make new things, make other instrument, make preamp, guitars, whatever. So I like to be open as well, and you know try to see new things.
素晴らしいです。Great. Thank you. なるほどね。はい。でも確かに本当にそれを感じます。なんかペダルっていうところにとらわれすぎないで、本当音楽っていう部分で考えているのは、僕らが楽器を作る時もすごい大事にするところなので、今回コーナーストーンのペダルを触っていてそれを感じました。最後に、お願いがあるんですけれども、この動画を見てコーナーストーンいいなと思って、実際にペダルを買ってくださった方をサプライズとしてエミリオさんのサインを入れていただきたいなと思っていて、はい、もしよろしければ、はい、お願いいたします。はい。
Sure. I can do it.
本日はエミリオさんありがとうございました。
Thank you very much.
はい、
Thank you very much, everybody.
たくさん質問しちゃったので大変だったと思うんですけれども、細かく丁寧に説明してくださって本日は誠にありがとうございました。引き続きよろしくお願いします。ありがとうございます。
Thank you very much. Thank you.